I'm probably at a level now at about, I don't trust about 75% of things that I see on social media anymore. I don't believe anything is true on social media, and you are coming on board on that one.
I'm trying to tell you that social media is a lie.
It is.
Well, it's a lie like 50% of the time. I mean, some of the things that you see are absolutely accurate. Like, for example, this weekend I was posting all about my time with my family in Tampa and just what an exciting weekend it was. I planned this proposal for my brother who did nothing, and then I got to watch him bask in the joy of his new engagement and this new fiance he has and how happy everyone is. But I do think it is important when you have a platform and sometimes you only post the positive things. It's important to remind people that I'm just like you too. Radio hosts, they're just like us. And families are complicated and they're multifaceted, and there are joys and there are highs and there are lows. And I think if we're going to share the highs, sometimes it's also important to talk about the lows. So you're not just looking at everyone on Instagram going, wow, everyone's family is so perfect and happy and no one ever has issues ever. Like, no, there were also difficult parts of this weekend too.
Those are the people that are the most jacked up, man. You go to somebody's profile and everything looks so fantastic. You know there's some jacked up stuff going on.
100%. And so there was something that happened over the weekend that caused me to literally change my flight. I was supposed to stay Friday through Sunday, and I left for the Tampa airport Saturday morning at 5 a.m. I was like, I'm getting out of here. I'm leaving, because family dynamics can be a little bit complicated, and that was definitely the case for me on Friday night. Tensions were high. I was planning the whole proposal, and I think weddings do have a tendency, for better or worse, to bring out the deepest parts of you. Sometimes that is a good thing. I think sometimes it shows people how much you care and appreciate them. Like, I saw my dad cry on Friday. I never see my dad cry. My dad got emotional, and just seeing him get kind of worked up about my brother was so sweet. That's not the kind of emotion you typically see. But then on the other hand, sometimes that stress can cause people to crack under pressure.
It's weddings and funerals. They bring out the best and the worst in people.
Absolutely.
Can we dig here for just 1 second before you continue to tell your story here?
Yeah.
Like, why? I understand funerals for sure. All right. But what is it that we put so much pressure on these 5-6 hours that it brings out the worst in us when it's really all about a celebration?
Well, the thing is, it's the kind of thing that is only quote unquote supposed to happen once. Or, I mean, even if it's like, if you're going to have multiple marriages, this wedding is only going to happen once. This proposal is only going to happen once. Like, you got one chance to get it right. And I think that stress just kind of, it just purges whatever's going on inside of you, whether that's tension or conflict, or if you've just been holding something in. I think that kind of pressure makes people snap.
It really plays to like our need to be perfect. Right?
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's the pressure of perfection.
Yeah.
That's like you want everything to go so right that you stress over every little thing, I feel like.
Well, you don't want to get it wrong. In my family, we, again, for better or for worse, we are a group of perfectionists, and we want to get things right, which is why you heard me stress about a proposal that wasn't even mine, because I was like, I want to get it right. Like, this is the only thing that gets to happen once. I mean, sure, they can redo it, but then you'll always have that smear, that stain on your permanent record that the proposal was wrong.
There might be more pressure on you as the one that's planning it than it being on if you were doing it for yourself.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Because my mom was like, oh my God, what's going to happen like when someone's got to plan a proposal for you? I'm like, listen, my expectations are actually very low, but for other people, I don't want to let them down. So that's why I was putting all this pressure on me. So anyway, the proposal goes great. It was a really beautiful moment. Like, my brother's hugging me. I'm like, oh my God, the last time you hugged me was 2003. I'm like crying. And we had this after party at this Italian restaurant. And naturally, you know, when you have a very stressful day and there's an open bar, one is going to indulge a little bit. And I would definitely say that my family indulged a little bit that night in an appropriate way. I mean, definitely nothing crazy that anybody needs to be worried about. But you know what? We were celebrating.
It's a celebration.
It's a celebration. We were having a really good time. And the thing about consuming heaps of Sauvignon Blanc is sometimes it can take those emotions that are already starting to bubble up, and it can really just kind of squeeze that toothpaste bottle and just get them all out. And my mom and I have come a really long way in terms of our relationship. I think me and my mom are very, very different, and we clashed a lot growing up. And there's been something about moving away that has been really, really helpful for our relationship. And I'm just so proud of how far we've come. And on Friday, I will say we regressed a little bit. And I think some of the stress of the night and maybe the alcohol that was consumed brought out some old behavioral patterns in both of us. And it got to a point where I had to leave the celebration. I went back to the Airbnb and I tried to get some sleep, but we were staying in the Airbnb from hell. The smoke alarm would not stop going off, which you all know is a trigger for me, considering my apartment complex has had a fire alarm go off in the middle of the night constantly. There were bed bugs in my bed that I was staying in, so I got bug bites all up and down my legs.
Gosh, the worst.
And I'm like, I can't sleep. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm a little drunk, but also kind of hungover because I think we had some really cheap champagne, so this was not going well. So it's like 2 a.m. I've already got a hangover. I'm crying. I've got emotional wounds coming up. A ChatGPT is not working because my phone, as I have not described yet, is dying. It won't work. So my therapist isn't picking up. I'm like, who am I supposed to talk to? And finally it gets to a point where I'm like, screw it. Like, I just did all this work for my family and this is how I'm going to get treated. I'm going the hell home. So I get on my Delta app. I change my flight from Sunday to the first flight out on Saturday. I paid a stupid amount of money to be able to change my ticket. I call my Uber. I say sayonara to the carbon monoxide thing that keeps going off with that little chirp, that beep, beep. And I get my butt into an Uber to the Tampa airport, thinking everyone's going to wake up and I'm going to be gone and that's going to be it. Well, I get a text after I've gone through security from my parents and they're freaking out. My dad's like, where are you? I'm like, at the airport. And he's like, oh, okay. My dad don't care. He's like, whatever. We've got bar golf today. And my mom is freaking out naturally because, of course, you're waking up. You've got that anxiety of like, oh, God, what happened last night that is going to cause us to have a rift in the family. And I'm digging my heels in. I'm like, listen, like, if this is how we're going to behave for this weekend, I'm getting out. Like, the last thing I want to do is be the problem child of the weekend. So I'm going to leave. And basically, we had a long text conversation of her literally begging me to come back. And I'm like, well, if you want me to come back, now you have to pay for my plane ticket because I've already changed. And she said, I'm quite literally begging, which is what every child wants to hear. I'm like, oh, yeah, please beg and apologize. And change my flight. And she did. And then I came back home. And you know what? I'm really glad that I'm dead because we came to a conclusion. We realized what happened last night was a mistake. Tensions were high. And we had a great rest of the weekend.
Whoa.
So
That's growth.
that's growth. I do think it's growth. I think in years past, that would not have happened. I would have come back. It would have been awkward. It would have been weird. Mm-hmm. But we put things aside, despite the sleep deprivation, the hangover we were fighting through. We came to a conclusion. The bed bugs. My legs were itching. We came home and we had a great rest of the weekend. So I think that is kind of rounding out the fact that nobody's family is perfect. Everyone has things they have to apologize for and things they have to get through and triggers that happen. And you just push through them and you end up having a great rest of the weekend if you're able to put those things aside.
I think those kind of messages are so important because we are living in this society now, man, where everything is so polished and we got to tell the good story. But the stuff behind the scenes, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's kind of perfect in its imperfection, right?
Yeah, I think it just shows that every family has their tough dynamics. And I think that was a part of the conflict where I was watching my brother's fiance and her mom's dynamic. And I'm like, why can't we be like that? Right. And then literally the next day I saw a little bit of tension from the mom and something else. And I was like, oh, so not everybody has it all together.
Right.
Not everybody's relationship is perfect. It's not just me.
Right.
The Bert Show.